Zach, can you hear me okay?
That button there. Okay.
Just press this. Okay. You probably need to go closer onto it so that way. Yeah, just I thank you for joining us. We're going to wait just a few minutes in case anybody went over to City Hall for the meeting. We want to give it just a couple of minutes. There is a sign at the door there showing them the way to the Los Banos Community Center. So thank you. Okay, thank you for joining us this evening. We have a nice crowd here. Before we open up our meeting, I'd like to ask for our community blessing, Pastor Rios from the Word of Life United Pentecostal Church to come forward to the podium to give us a community blessing. Please stand.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to make mention real quick, I'm so proud that we open up in prayer, and I want to thank you for the city that I am recently a widow of 10 months, and I'm experiencing new things. And I want to thank the city of Los Banos that everything I've experienced from the Merced College, I went back to school, and they are very helpful. The spring fair, I got in 62 free. The cemetery, the people are beautiful. Everything in this city is just like they prayed in, the president and everyone prayed for the restoration and the rebuilding. And I feel that's what Los Banos is doing with the springtime. You guys are just beautiful. And I thank you, Mayor. I just thank every one of you for the team. And I would like to open up in the prayer, and we thank you. Psalms 117, oh, praise the Lord, all ye nations. Praise him, all ye people, for his merciful kindness is great towards us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. Praise ye the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, we just invite you into this place. We humble ourselves before you, and we thank you for this city. We thank you for the surrounding cities. We thank you for everyone who participates in safety, for everyone from the mayor and the team and the council and the first responders and everyone in this city, Father God, to protect the people from the adversary who comes in, Father God, that we put a gate around this city, a gate around the people, our homes, Father God, and we thank you that you are invited in this meeting. We just ask that for your peace, your kindness, your respect, in every generous act, in every word that's been spoken here tonight, that, Father God, we will be mindful that you are listening and that you are present. In Jesus' name, I thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Praise you, Lord.
I'd like to call this meeting to order for May 20th, 2026. Commander, if we could have the pledge, please. Sarah, if we could have roll call, please.
Perez,
Here.
Yamas,
Here.
Chavez,
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Amabil.
I am here. The first item is consideration of the approval of the agenda as submitted. Is there any questions from the city council about the agenda approval? Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted to the public. Any further questions or comments from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Now we have a few presentations we'd like to make.
Jacob, you're first. Here you are. Jacob's their employee of the month for the month of April. And I just want to tell you a little bit about this fine young man that comes from two incredible parents. Fire engineer Jake Sawyer has served the Los Banos community for over 11 years. Fire engineer, technical rescue specialist, Jake has worked as a move-up captain where he has constantly excelled while stepping out of his comfort zone to learn the responsibilities of a fire captain. Jake serves his community with passion, commitment, and professionalism. Jake's visions, commitment to excellence, and forward-thinking leadership is why he is deserving this recognition. And in recognition of your outstanding performance and dedicated service to the City of Los Banos for being named Employee of the Month for April 2026. Congratulations. Well deserved. This is National Public Works Week, so William, come forward. You have, oh, Carlos, okay. You're doing the work today. Good to see you. Okay. So the proclamation recognizes National Public Works Week, whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to the sustainable and resilient community, public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the City of Los Banos. Whereas these infrastructure facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated effort of our public works professionals, who are federally mandated first responders and the engineers, managers, employees, all at levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, airports, parks, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is a public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of the City of Los Banos to gain knowledge and maintain ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works, first responders, and public works programs in the respective communities. And whereas year 2026 marks the 66th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Michael Amabill, the Mayor of the City of Los Banos, and our City Council do hereby designate the week of May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week in the City of Los Banos, and urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in these activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to the public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to the protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Paul Tuala, Fire Chief. Come forward, sir. Well, Paul has served the city in incredible professionalism, brought forward a lot of professionalism and dedication to the City of Los Banos, and he retired last week, right? And we can't thank him enough for what he's done for the city. He worked during some very difficult times when staffing was low, and he continued to make sure our fire department worked at a professional level and protected our citizens. And it's the honor of the City Council to proclaim the recognition of the retirement of the City of Los Banos Fire Chief Paul Tuala. Whereas Paul Tuala joined the City of Los Banos as Fire Chief on November 1st, 2022. And whereas Chief Tuala led strategic planning efforts for the fire department, establishing organizational goals and guiding the department's progress. And whereas Chief Tuala developed and implemented plans to enhance emergency response and service deliveries, planning for future fires, service needs, and whereas under Chief Tuala's leadership, the fire department expanded training opportunities and supported fire prevention efforts. And whereas Chief Tuala demonstrated dedication to the city by serving as acting city manager from January 2025 to February 2025, while continuing to oversee and support the fire department operations. And whereas Chief Tuala retired from the City of Los Banos as Fire Chief on May 16th, 2026, where nearly 4 years of distinguished service to the City of Los Banos and more than 30 years in public service, leading a lasting impact on the department and the community it serves. Now therefore be it proclaimed that Michael Amabil, Mayor of the City of Los Banos, and our City Council do hereby commend Chief Paul Twala on his dedication, loyalty to the City of Los Banos, and congratulate him on his retirement. Congratulations, Chief. Thank you so much.
Come back. Just a few words to say Chief Paul Twala has been a remarkable asset to our community here in Los Banos. He's brought some really high standards here for our fire department. They've accelerated in just multiple ways. He's helped us obtain equipment, fire trucks, your talking equipment, your walkie-talkies, for whatever the terminology is for it. He's just brought a lot to our community, and I just want to thank you. I'll really miss you as a personal friend, and I know where to find you. So congratulations, and enjoy your retirement.
Chief, so we already, did your retirement party and said what I had to say, but I do want to say, since you did retire on my 17th wedding anniversary, literally to the day, but I do want to say thank you for being my first city manager that I got to sit next to, and came on at a very interesting time, and again, like I said, really was like, okay, this is the city manager. Did not know you were really the fire chief. Found out afterwards. I go, this guy's pretty good. So I want to thank you, though. You held it together. You did really, really well. And, again, thank you very much for everything you've done. Appreciate everything. And we'll be seeing you. I know you'll be around. All right. Thank you.
Chief, I have not had the chance to work a very long time alongside you, but I know how important all the work you have done, and you will definitely be missed. I will miss your personality for sure. It always shines. But again, congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for all of the work that you've done for the city.
Chief, it's been a pleasure knowing you, working with you, and learning from you. I appreciate your leadership, your steadfast devotion to your department and the city and the residents. You were always there to answer questions regardless of the difficulty of the situation you were going through, and you always had a smile on your face, and that said a lot, especially the things that you had to deal with and the manner that you guided the department. So thank you very much for your service, and congratulations on your endeavor. Thank you very much, sir.
I'll let you speak in just a second. So we have your retirement watch presented to Paul Twala in recognition of retirement, the 3 years service to Los Banos. And again, we really appreciate that. It's a beautiful watch. And this is from the City Council. It's a clock organized by Refugio Lamas, our council member. We really appreciate that. But it's a beautiful clock that you put it by your bedside, and when you close your eyes, you can see the City Council in your dreams. You know, I know you got a handful. Let me take that. I know you want to say.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the support. Thank you for my staff. Thank you for council. It was definitely sometimes there were some challenges, but I think we got through it, and we're heading in the right direction. So I want to thank all my former department heads. Sounds weird saying former, so but I appreciate everything.
You're a good man, Paul. Thank you. Oh, okay.
These are tiring. Can't believe these are tiring.
Okay, next item is item 6, is introduction of new employees. And so I'll turn it over to our city manager, Niran Tham.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. We do have a couple department today that's going to be presenting to our new staff. So first, we go to Public Work Department, Director Bai.
Thank you, City Manager and Mayor, City Council members. Tonight, we have one new employee for Public Works. His name is Kevin Yellen. Kevin, come on up, Kevin. He's our newest utilities maintenance worker. He started with the city on April 16th, and I told him on his very first day that he was going to have to do this. So he was prepared. And he's been mostly training for the month that he's been here. He's an Army veteran who was deployed for 9 months to the Middle East. He has a bachelor's degree in business administration from San Jose State University, and we're really glad to have him in Public Works.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the new hire for the Public Works Department. My name is Kevin Yellen. I look forward to building good relations with everyone, learning as much as possible, and being able to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the city. Thank you.
Next, can I have Commander Meldon?
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So today we are here to, identify 5 new employees that the police department has. So I would first like to start talking about Salvador Castaneda. Salvador was a community service officer with the city of Los Banos before we recognized his hard work and sent him to the police academy. He attended the Fresno Police Academy and has been on phase 2 of field training at this point, doing very well. So welcome, Salvador. Next, we'll talk about Alexander Valdez. Alexander also started as a community service officer, and for a brief period of time, he filled in as our Police Activities League advisor as a CSO. So he's done a lot of good work for the community, and we recognize that and also sent him to the Police Academy in Fresno, which he excelled at, and now he is in field training as well, doing very well. So welcome, Alexander. And next we have Britt Lippincott. Britt, we hired as a police trainee. We sent him to the academy, and he did very well in the police academy, and he is attending field training at this point as well. So welcome, Britt. And next we have Gilbert Garcia. Gilbert came to us fresh out of the Marine Corps, and you may recognize him because he did some recruiting for the Marines in our community as well, prior to being picked up as a police trainee. And he went to the Fresno Police Academy as well and did extremely well. Welcome, Gilbert. And finally, last but not least, we have our new dispatcher, Tiffany Morales. She has been here for a whopping 2 days. So don't mean to put her on the spot, but welcome, Tiffany. All right. And I think I talked to them earlier. None of them wanted to say anything, so I spoke for them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Very good.
We appreciate all of you very much and glad you're with us. That's very nice. Thank you. That's it. Okay, next we will go on to our public forum. Members of the public may address the city council on any item of public interest that's within the jurisdiction of the city of Los Banos. This includes agenda and non-agenda items. If you want to speak on an agenda item, I will give you opportunity to speak when we reach that item, or you're welcome to talk about it at the podium. You have 5 minutes to speak, and we welcome anyone to talk to your city council. And then please state your name for the recorded record, please. Hi, Carl.
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome.
Anyways, nice to see you guys. Anyways, I'm here to speak about an article that came out of Merced County recently in the past couple of weeks, maybe a little bit longer. It has to do with Scott Silveira being investigated for $2.1 million. It recently came out, and it's out there on social media and in the news. So the thing is that since he's the hometown boy, right, and he's from Los Banos, and we are going to go vote on new county supervisors. I'm assuming that Darren McDaniel, Mike Murphy, and Scott Silveira are from the same tree, per se. And the thing is that it's not surprising coming from the small town, knowing that the Central Valley is Republican, even though the majority of the population is of people of color. But we know that the people with wealth are the ones that run the city council, the county, state governments, and federal governments, right? And so the thing is, though, is if this is happening at the county level with the county supervisors, what's happening in these small towns, right? And so that's my question, is that I know that these towns have been run by the right-wingers for so long, and when you talk to the actual commoner, the person that is normal, and you speak to them, they will tell you all the issues that they've dealt with in the city and in the valley for so long. And people coming from the other side of the mountain, we are starting to see a lot of that stuff, right? Right now, because of what's going on with Trump, also stealing $1.8 billion of our tax money, trying to pay himself, seems like there's a repetition of that going on in all levels of government, right? And so the thing is like I told you guys last time, there's very little small percentages of public servants who actually work for the community, but because the wealthy have the money and they have the power, you guys tend to turn the other way and not listen to the community, but only listen to the 1%, right? And I know that for a fact because there's a lot of people here who are gonna speak on behalf of the lights on, I believe, Mercy Springs, or somewhere close to that, or Pacheco, because there's some dangerous things going on. From what I understand, you guys are not addressing those issues and trying to not even do what the people are saying, right? What they want. So my question to you guys basically is, when are you guys or the county supervisors or the state governments, when are you guys going to start actually doing the stuff for the people, for the 99%, right? Because the thing is that we're going into the future that is unpredictable. I know we've been talking about the hexavalent chromium inside the water, right? And then I know last time or probably about a month ago, you guys talked about that battery plant that's going to happen somewhere close to here, right? From what I understand is that once you guys approve or anybody approves, the county supervisors approve these types of projects, I know that a lot of the resources are running low. If you look at the news right now, the Southwest is running out of water, running out of resources. So that's another thing that I would like to bring to you. When you guys are approving these houses for Stonefield or for all these people, is there gonna be enough resources for the people and the community when these things go up? So are you guys planning ahead of time for these obstacles that are coming in the near future? Honestly, I see Amabile saying yes, but from what I see from the federal government and what's going on with AI, it doesn't seem like we're preparing for a whole lot of things. The thing is that we act, people with money act because they got the money to do it. And they got the power because that money buys power, right? And the thing is, though, is that us as residents that are buying homes here, right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't even buy a home here for whatever they're selling it for because they're making everything as cheap as possible, not even landscaping it. And if they're selling them for $600,000, we're getting ripped off. And I've told you guys this before, the problems with the homes here are so ridiculous that I know you guys know about them. But when I talked to Amabile at one of the parks, and I asked them, what does the city, what do you call it? The person that is supposed to be watching, like slumlords and
30 seconds.
Anyways, from what I understand, these people are getting away with it. I asked Amabel, is the person that is supposed to be watching these projects and watching the slumlords or whatever's being built, they're supposed to be out there watching what's going on and make sure these things are being built. He said that those people are not responsible for those type of things, right? So how can we trust a city council that doesn't back up the residents that are buying the homes here? That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, come forward. You're welcome to speak. Please state your name for the recorded record. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Blanche George, and I live in the downtown area. I wanted to go ahead and explain a certain process, and mainly I'm speaking about the feral cats. I do appreciate your staff and yourself the last few years just working very hard to make sure that these cats, and they're unsocialized, that they are, for the population in whole, you're looking out for the population in whole, because of the cats that need to be spayed and neutered, and you've provided that. You've worked with lots of different people. Years ago, and it's important that I never repeated this, but it's really crucial. Volunteers like myself and others, and we're very grateful that we're able to go ahead and trap the kitties, go ahead and get them spayed and neutered, and then return them afterwards. They only have a small lifespan that's going to exist. And so to help the population, to reduce that population is really crucial. Because they're on the outside, they have a short lifespan. And because they have all their shots and their rabies shots and everything, that's really great for the population. So I want to say that I do appreciate that. A process that you should know is that, like myself, I go ahead and I purchase traps. I have a total of, don't tell my husband, 33. And that is for the rotation, and some go bad. You purchase a special mixture of food, and that's something that I as an individual, donate without expectations. We also use, we use our vehicles. We have to line them up. But we do go ahead. I am licensed trapper, transporter, everything. So what happens is that you go to where there might be a complaint, or somebody will call me, or via social media get in contact with me. I make arrangements before even trapping. I talk to the individuals. I get them to understand the process and how it would also benefit them helping these cats and kittens. So after that, there is a trapping. There is a process of the spay and neuter, and then returning after they recover. I had promised in this program years ago that when we do this, that I would not take space up at the shelter whatsoever. These cats are processed in a different way. Thank goodness to the city manager, you guys, and the staff, and the police department, and the shelter. Everybody works together to make sure that that this work is done, and is done quietly. So I did want to, I haven't spoken about the feral cats for quite some time, but we're still ramping up, anywhere from 1 to 8 a day. And so we're getting that work done. And so I wanted to say thank you. And we appreciate the neighbors, individuals that have these kitties, appreciate your effort. And I know that they write letters to you guys and they communicate to you guys. So Thank you very much. If anybody wants to contact me, contact them, no. I just, you can always see me on social media. My name is Blanche George. It's kind of, my last name is, if you look at it, is Jorge. And that's about it. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward. You're all welcome. Welcome.
I just need a second. My name's Christine Quells. My son Michael Quells was the door dasher that was killed in a head-on collision a few weeks ago. I do want to thank the first responders. I understand that they got there fairly quick, but his injuries were too bad to handle. Michael and I are the original door dashers here in town. When it first started here, there was only about 5 or 6 of us. Everybody knows us, and they know him. I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I want to talk about Santa Barbara Street. It is very, very dangerous, very dangerous. It's very wide. There's not too many stop signs through there. They use it as a speedway. Neighbors have come over to talk to me after we set up the memorial site. They're afraid to cross the street to get their mail, backing out of their driveways. My son was hit by an unlicensed driver. He had a permit only, doing 50. And I'm still wondering what's going on with that. But if you guys could please put speed bumps through there. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. We're so sorry for your loss. Anyone else, please come forward.
Good evening, board members. My name is Jeff De La Cruz. I'm a resident of Los Banos. I'm a parent of 2 teenagers that both attend school here, and I'm a husband, and I'm also a teacher at Pacheco High School of 12th grade economics and government. Some of you guys have seen me before, and I'm here today because it seems like there seems to be some sort of commonality of danger in our community, and I'm here to speak about one of those. First, allow me to say thank you to Councilmember Llamas for coming and speaking and sitting down with Ms. Sassy and her husband and myself on Monday to discuss our concerns. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. In my 13 years at teaching at Pacheco, I've witnessed traffic at Warden B increase over time. Unfortunately, I've also had the displeasure of knowing students who have been hit or almost hit by vehicles who are in a hurry and don't have the patience to wait for students to cross the intersection, especially right before school starts and right when it ends. I've seen cars literally go around students as they are in the middle of that crosswalk and literally go around them because they're impatient, because they're in a hurry. Now, I brought in some of my students from my government econ class to witness this meeting in a way to show them to understand how local government works, but also ask them a simple question. Now, I don't know how they're going to answer, so this might backfire on me, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. So I'm going to look back and say, in your 4 years at Pacheco, I just need you to raise your hand real quick. How many of you guys have either seen or know somebody from our school that has been hit or almost hit by vehicles as they are coming to school or leaving school? Thank you. As a city, are we going to wait until something horrible happens before we act? I understand that progress takes time, but I also wonder why it's taking so long to install one stoplight when just up the road, 2 have been installed, literally feet from each other. And yet, for 15 years, nothing at B and Ward. I mean, I don't know if our lives are our young students' lives are less important than other students' lives? I don't know, you'd have to answer that question for me. But, you know, I look forward to continue our conversations with other board members and the city manager, hopefully. And my hope is that we can collaborate with our members of District 2 and other members of the community to make our city a safer place, our community a safer place. I thank you for your time, and I believe I have other concerned members of the community that would like to also speak. So I yield my time.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Denise Sassy. I am a parent within the Pacheco High School community and actively involved with school and parent organizations on campus. Tonight, I'm not only here as a parent, but as a voice for many of our students, families, and community members who are deeply concerned about traffic and pedestrian safety near the intersections of Ward Road and B Street and Ward Road and Palermo Drive. Over the past several years, this area has experienced tremendous growth. New housing developments, ongoing construction, and increased traffic from multiple nearby schools have significantly changed the conditions around these intersections. During school arrival and dismissal times, traffic congestion has become overwhelming and at times dangerous. Parents and students have expressed concerns about backed up traffic, unsafe turns, speeding, limited visibility, and the difficulties that students face every day crossing that intersection. Our community has also experienced incidents involving students being injured near our schools, including a student who was struck while riding a bike to school just last year when a vehicle turned onto B Street from Las Palmas Street right into the path of his bicycle without making a complete stop. Incidents like this continue to reinforce why so many parents and community members are concerned about pedestrian and student safety in our area. As our community continues to grow, these concerns will only continue increasing. Sometimes communities must act proactively before a serious tragedy occurs, not after. We are asking the city to continue seriously reviewing these intersections, especially as development and traffic continues to increase in our area. We are also asking that the city continue working collaboratively with the school district, law enforcement, engineers, parents, and community members to explore additional traffic safety measures that can better protect students and their families. Most importantly, we want the city to understand that this issue matters deeply to our community. We appreciate the city's willingness to listen, review data, and continue discussions regarding possible future improvements. We look forward to continuing to work together towards solutions that help create safer streets for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Please come forward. You're welcome. Anyone's welcome to speak to us. Please come forward if you have something to say. Welcome. Please state your name for the recorded record.
Good evening. My name is Juan Quintero, and I live right behind Walmart. And I've seen many vehicles that do not come to a complete stop right at the intersection of Prairie Springs Drive and Badger Flat Road. Even during school hours, people just don't stop at all. And on that street towards the end of that street on Prairie Springs Drive, they use that constantly as, doing donuts, I would say at least twice a week, and speeding through that street. And I've called a few times to see if they could, probably come out and do something about it, but that type of behavior has not been stopped yet. And also, I see this throughout town where people just don't make complete stops, and they just run through the stops. That's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward. Welcome.
Alrighty. Evening, Mayor, Council, City of Los Banos. My name is Karthik Prasad, here on behalf of Congressman Adam Gray, here to give my usual legislative update from that teeny tiny town of Washington, D.C. And it's a pretty hearty update this time, as 4 of the bills the Congressman worked on passed through the House last month, and are currently on the Senate floor. This includes the Farm Bill, which, as a lot of you know, is a legislative package that's typically passed through the House every 5 years. However, the last Farm Bill was passed in 2018, so this one has been a long time work in progress for a very long time. The Farm Bill covers a wide range of programs that sets the stage for our agricultural practices in the state, and this year that bill is the Farm, Food, and National Security Act of 2026. During markup, the House Agriculture Committee unanimously passed 3 of the Congressman's amendments, which would require the USDA to report to Congress how changes to the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement would affect the agriculture industry. Another amendment provides states with flexibility to allocate up to 20% of their emergency food assistance program funding towards the USDA's fresh fruit and vegetable program. And a third amendment would help protect specialty crop growers by prohibiting the USDA from implementing cost sharing or matching requirements. The 3 other bills that the Congressman helped pass were the HEATS Act, which is a bill that would exempt geothermal activities on state and private land from federal drilling permits to encourage energy production. The HEAT Act passing is an important part of our ongoing effort to help reform the federal permitting requirement process, which, as you all know, is a real pain in the butt to work through. The Congressman also co-led the FIRE Act, which would require the EPA to exclude data that's used in the determination of national ambient air quality standards if a state demonstrated that an extraordinary event, such as a fire or a prescribed burn, were the cause of that increase in pollution. And the last bill the Congressman helped pass was the Telehealth Network and Telehealth Resource Centers Grant Program Reauthorization Act, which, aside from having a mouthful of a title, is a bill that would provide investment in rural healthcare by reauthorizing the Telehealth Network and Resource Centers Grant Program through fiscal year 2030. So it's a whole lot of bills and a whole lot of work, and obviously there's still a lot more to be done. But as always, if any members of the council or members of the public have any questions about the bills or know anyone who's got an issue with the federal government that we could help with, feel free to send them our way. We're just down the street in Merced. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else, please come forward. Welcome.
Hello, council members, mayor, city staff. 13 more days. I'm excited for it to end. 13 more days. I come here because regardless of win or lose, win, great, I get to work with the city staff on bringing more to the west side. If I lose, great, I still continue working with the city staff on bothering Stacy with future businesses or what I plan on doing. When I first came to Los Banos 7 years ago, I started the first 24-hour gym. I took an opportunity, saw there was no 24-hour gym. I was like, let's do it. I love powerlifting. Let's start something here, bring something to this community. Fast forward a couple years, great, there's no pool, huh? I brought a pool, huh? It didn't make it, obviously, but I brought one. And I tried to bring something else for the quality of life of the residents in Los Banos. 24-hour gym, pool, huh? Then came a Pilates studio. I didn't know there's gonna be 2 other Pilates studios opening at the same time. So I tried to bring a Pilates studio. What I bring? A Legree studio, yoga, bar, and yeah. So I'm always looking for opportunities to bring stuff to the city, bring stuff to the community for the quality of life, of what they can do, because I hate hearing there's nothing to do for this and that. I'm trying to be an example of not just talking, just doing. As for example, me running for supervisor, not just talking, trying to do. This right here is a big gift for the city of Los Banos that I've been working on secretly, and Mr. Llamas knows about it because I presented it to him 3 years ago. It's called TC Complex. Whether it happens in 3, 4, 5, 10 years, it's gonna happen eventually. It's a whole complex that I've worked on, and it's a whole business plan. I've paid hundreds of pages of just numbers and what I wanted it to be. It's pretty much a place where recreations can come together. Indoor soccer fields, a full pool lab, gym, basketball courts, volleyball courts, MMA, wrestling, a whole thing that I've been working on, and I've continued to work on. And the way I've been doing it is planning accordingly with opening more locations, making the business worth more, to be more, to get more taken seriously when I apply for that loan. So where am I going with this? I'm taking a step-by-step process on being able to bring something else to this community in the future. Whether win or lose, whether I take the opportunity to bring back the bowling alley, which I've been thinking about, whether I decide to buy a piece of land over there and talk to the county and make it available for off-roading activity, who knows, maybe in the future. All I'm here to say is that I'm willing to work in the future with the community, with the city of Los Banos, city of Dos Palos, because I am rooted here. My kids are going to be coming here. They're going to be starting school in 3-4 years here. So what they're talking about, the safety of the students, is something I will take seriously, and I am taking seriously. So yeah, thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with the city of Los Banos for the years to come.
Miguel, state your name for the record.
Oh, Miguel Alejandre.
That's great. Thank you very much for your comments, Miguel. You can if you want. Anyone else? Please come forward. Oh, thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Gloria Castaneda. I witnessed 2 deaths taking my children to school. 2. I'm not asking for lights because I know lights are expensive. And, you know, we pay our taxes, we do what we can, we participate, we fund our schools, but I shouldn't have seen that. Taking them to school. Crossing guards. Allow them to volunteer. Give them money. Find the funds. Ask the parents, they'll pay. We want our kids. My son's gonna start high school next year, and I will not allow him to ride the bike because that's 2 bikes. I seen one under a car, and I thought that was my son. It wasn't nice. There's a light on B Street right in front of the preschool or whatever that's gonna be. I don't think that's needed. A crossing guard is needed there. The light is very expensive to build it, to function it, to maintain it, and I understand that. A crossing guard can do just as well of a job. Enforce it. Enforce and allow them to have the police officers back them up as well. They need to slow down, these parents, these drivers, these young drivers, these new drivers. The lights may be too expensive. Put what we can. We can afford crossing guards. We can find a budget for crossing guards. Something has to be put out there. I shouldn't have to be getting out of my vehicle and telling vehicles to stop because kids just want to cross. I understand they don't stop. I sit there too. That's why I have them get up early, so I can leave early, so I don't get in that mess. Not everybody can do that, but I shouldn't have to be the patrol out there. There should be somebody out there. I went to Pacheco, and I listened to them talk and say, talk to the board members, talk to your mayor, talk to somebody. And I said, okay, I don't have a good voice, but after seeing this last death, I can't do this anymore. I have 4 more years to go through that area, and I can't witness somebody getting hit or killed every year. I can't. I seen it driving on Old Henry Road, and now I have to see it right in town, and it's horrible. I know we can do this. I know we can fund something. Lights are kind of like, it's too, they're expensive. But Ward and B, it should have been done first. It really should have. Because we can't stop the kids from crossing, and we can't stop the parents from trying to run them over. So the lights would help, but if we can't fund the lights, we can fund crossing guards. We can fund something out there. We have patrol on the street, in the schools, have them right there. There has to be a solution. There's no openings for that. And I just I just want you guys to understand, I know not every school can afford a light at their intersections, but we can afford, I know parents will volunteer to help have crossing guards out there, have some kind of patrol, have something for our children. So my child can say, can I ride the bike today? And I could say, yeah, go ahead. I don't, I can, oh, he's gonna crash his bike or fall. That's not my worry. My worry is is somebody gonna stop at the stop sign? Or are they gonna run up on the sidewalk and run him over? Because they're not paying attention? They're too, whatever they're doing now? This is a main concern. The kids need to be safe. You guys want them to go to school, and we want them to be safe.
30 seconds.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments, and I just want to say this council hears you loud and clear. Anyone else, please come forward. You're welcome to speak. Welcome. Please state your name for the recorded record.
Hello, my name is Paula Lopez. I'm a daycare provider here in Los Banos. Part of my job is to do transportation for these kids at multiple schools. What I see is no accountability. I have to drop off kids earlier so I don't get stuck in the mess of the traffic. There's no accountability to employees of Unified School. They go the opposite way, they go in the opposite way, they don't park in the right way. The buses go flying by. I don't know if anybody has noticed that. The buses, they fly by. Unfortunately, sometimes I see that police is also parking the opposite way. Everybody does whatever they want, but everybody complains about the parents. It's not just the parents. We need to set the example because we're also reliable and liable for those kids. Like I say, I always have to drop off those kids earlier than they should be dropped off because we don't want to get stuck in that mess. But all of us we have to take responsibility over their safety. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward. Okay, I will go ahead and close the public forum, and just want to make a state that, and I know, Commander, you probably want to see if you're going to turn that off. Okay. We have been noticing the issues with traffic, and we've been doing a survey on those streets. And just today, we had 32 traffic officers in our town. And I know, Commander, we'll talk about that later in the deal. So we hear you loud and clear, and we appreciate everybody that's spoke here in the public forum. And now we'll move on. Item 8, yes.
Sarah, we have a written, right? We have a written comments?
Oh,
We have one email written comments, hold on.
we do?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, we do have one written comment, so I'm going to open up the public forum again, so we can read in the written comment into the record.
Give me 1 second, Mayor.
Also, starting July 1st, we have, let's see, 2 more meetings here, right? 3 more meetings here?
We have up until June 17.
Yeah, June 17th at this chambers. And then July 1st, we'll be back at our chambers, and you'll be able to zoom in and ask questions. And
Yeah, I'm ready. Sarah, I'll go ahead and read it.
Sure.
Is that okay? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'll receive it. This is a comment received.
City manager, if we could run the timer for while he's reading as well.
Okay. Cool. Okay, this is received at 1:27 p.m. from Khalid Sanchez. Dear City Council, Chief Reyna, and community members, I am writing to bring your immediate attention a serious issue that has been impacting our community. We are currently facing an ongoing scam that is affecting both residents and local businesses, with one individual reportedly defrauding community members of over $100,000. My name is Khalid Sanchez, owner of various boutiques in town, and I have witnessed firsthand the devastating effect this scam is having on our community. This situation is becoming increasingly alarming as more families and businesses fall victim to these fraudulent activities. It is critical that our local authority takes swift actions to investigate and put a stop to the scam, as the consequences are dire for those affected. If you or someone you know has been scammed, I urge you to file a police report with our local authority as soon as possible. Reporting these incidents is essential for gathering evidence and preventing further fraudulent actions. Let's work together to protect our community and ensure that we can stop this alarming trend. Your attention and actions on this matter are greatly appreciated. Thank you for your prompt consideration. Sincerely, Khalid Sanchez, owner of Viri Boutique, Los Banos community member.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that letter. And now I'll close the public forum, and we'll move on to item 8, consideration approval of our consent agenda. And Sarah, if you could read off what's on the consent agenda, please.
Items on the consent agenda are as follows. Warrant numbers 257, 288 to 258001 in the amount of $5,493,902 even. City Council special meeting minutes for April 14, 2026. Second quarter investment report for fiscal year 2025-2026. Third quarter investment report for fiscal year 2025-2026. City Council Resolution Number 7086, accepting the construction of Ag Sports Complex landscape improvements as complete and authorizing the filing of the notice of completion with the Merced County Recorder, Ronnie's, Inc. City Council Resolution Number 7087, accepting the construction of Shaughnessy Village Park as complete and authorizing the filing of a notice of completion with the Merced County Recorder, Ronnie's, Inc. City Council Resolution Number 7088, approving the designation of the Director of Finance, Minerva Minnie Moreno, as acting city manager during periods of temporary absence or disability of the city manager, consistent with Section 2-3.106 of the City Municipal Code. City Council Resolution Number 7089, authorizing award of construction contract to Rolf Construction, Inc. in the amount of $1,584,994 even, with a 15% contingency in the amount of $237,750 even for fiscal year 2026 street rehabilitation project. City Council Resolution Number 7090, awarding the construction contract for the water meter replacement project to Ensure Utility, Inc., DBA Phoenix Water Solutions in the amount of $35,270 even, with a 15% contingency in the amount of $5,290.50, and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement and issue the notice of award. City Council Resolution Number 7091, accepting public improvements for Dove Hollow at Stone Creek, the Villages 5, Phase 3, Unit 4, Anderson Homes. City Council Resolution Number 7092, accepting public improvements for South Point at Regency Park, Phase 11B, Stonefield Home, Inc. City Council Resolution Number 7093, accepting public improvements for South Point at Regency Park, Phase 11C, Stonefield Home, Inc. City Council Resolution Number 7094, approving and adopting final tract map number 2015-02, North Point at Regency Park, Phase 1, Stonefield Home, Inc., and the items are to be approved as submitted.
Okay, is there any items that any of the city council would like to pull from the consent agenda for further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have item 8H pulled.
Okay,
Thank you.
just 8H, okay.
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay, so we'll be discussing item with the public A through G, I through M. Any of the public would like to discuss this with the city council, make any comments about those items on the consent agenda? You please come forward at this time. Okay, I do not see anyone moving forward, so I'll entertain a motion to approve item 8A through G, J, K, L, and M. and I. Thank you.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Yanez.
Second.
Yamas, and second by Chavez. Okay, if all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we'll go back to item 8H. So your questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to have a little more discussion, provide the public with a little more background and as to the scope and scale of this item, because I think it's significant, if I understand this correctly, from the way the city has rated or maybe hasn't rated the streets before. And if we could give a little more, again, discussion, again, to provide the information to our public as to how we're going about the improvement of our streets.
William?
Okay, thank you. William Vi, Public Works Director. First off, every street is, we do have a rating for every street that wasn't built in the last couple of years. We do have some newer streets we haven't rated, but those are 100. So they get ranked between 0 and 100 on a scale of 0 to 100. And they start off as 100 is the best score. That's a brand new street. And then it goes down depending on what distresses that street has: cracking, potholes, sinkholes, a rough ride, raveling, all types of different things that can happen to a street. With each one of those, the ranking goes down a little bit. This has changed recently in the last couple of 3 years, the ranking systems. But the PCIs, and that's called the PCI, the Pavement Condition Index. And so the streets for this phase, the 2026 Phase 1 street rehabs that we're going to be doing is South Fallbrook Drive from Snow Goose to San Luis Street. And the PCI for that is a 7, or it was in 2023, I think, is when the PCIs were rated. South Rock Creek from South Creekside to Snow Goose, that is rated as a PCI 0. So basically, it's the structure has failed, so it needs to be not only grind and overlay, but we need to remove all of the asphalt and basically start over. Not necessarily the subgrade, but the asphalt. Cool Spring, this first few sections are all in the Snow Goose area. So Cool Springs Court from Creekside to the end, it's a PCI of 18. Sunstream Court from Snow Goose to the end is a PCI of 4. Riverbrook Court from South Creekside to the end is a PCI of 2. And then the last one is West I Street from Pacheco Boulevard to Arizona Avenue, and that has a PCI of 20. So once we do these pavement rehabs on these particular streets, that will probably come up to about a 95. It's hard to really ever get it back to 100 unless it's a brand new street. Some of them would be 100 if we do a full depth. But the West I Street, I think, is the most significant of these streets because that's the one that many members of the community, no matter where they live, they use that street. The hospital is on that street. We have a fire station on that section of that street. We have a park on that street that also acts as a bus stop. So that's going to really benefit a majority of the residents of Los Banos because a lot of people use that street. These other streets they're going to benefit everybody if they drive over there, but they're going to benefit more of that localized area because not everybody drives in that area. But this is just the first phase that we're doing next year for pavement rehabs. We've got 2 other projects that we're going to be doing in next fiscal year, and this is the first phase. And I'm really excited to get this thing done, get it into construction, and get it done, and see the improvements to the streets that the entire city will be able to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Now, with these road construction, will that also include the improvement to like ADA improvements to the streets?
It will, and most of the ones in the Snow Goose area, they meet the ADA standards as far as slope and things like that. What they're lacking over there is the truncated domes, the little orange, yellow squares that you see with the bumps on them. Those are called truncated domes. Most of those are just lacking those. On I Street, is a different story. There'll be full reconstruction of most of the corners from Pacheco Boulevard to the hospital, because we have to bring each one of those corners up to ADA standards. We're also going to install at the crosswalk of J and I Street. I know it seems odd, 2 letters that cross, but J and I Street, right by Page Park, we're going to also install rectangular rapid flashing beacons. Those are the signs for the crosswalks, and they got a little rectangular lights, and you can push a button and then they flash for people to cross. So we're going to also install those at that corner.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And William, I know our year starts July 1, so when you said next year, when do you anticipate construction on these roads start?
So this one, if it gets approved, after this, if it gets approved, we have some contract documents that we need to get from the contractor. That's going to take a week, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. So the second week of June, they should start construction. And then they'll probably start on the ADA corners first, because you don't want to put a new street and then cut the street out to put new concrete in. So they'll probably start on the ADA corners first, second week of June, and they should be done with construction mid to late August if everything goes well. And then the next phase is in design right now, and we're just at phase 2. We're just picking out the specific treatments for each one of the streets, because you can do different things depending on that PCI and depending on the condition of the subgrade. So we're narrowing down what we're going to do there now. We just had a conversation about it yesterday, me and the city engineer. So that should be done, design, and out to bid probably mid to late June. It'll go out to bid, and then that one should start construction late August, somewhere in there, and should be done before November, hopefully before the rainy season sets in. And then the third project is the 2027 rehabs, and that is in design now, very early stages of design, and then that will be constructed. It'll be bid out wintertime, late winter, so we can start as soon as spring breaks and we get the nice weather. We'll start construction of that, and it should be constructed by the end of next fiscal year. So by the end of June 2027, that third project should be completed.
Great. Thank you, Vic. Any other questions, Council?
Yes, Mayor, I have a
Yes.
question. For the record, Mr. Vi, with I Street, West I Street being a major reconstruct, any vendors that are out there such as PG&E, AT&T, these companies that may want to underground something, are they submitting their permits and requests to get that done so that we're not tearing up the street again?
We have notified AT&T, Comcast, PG&E, anybody who has any utilities under our streets that these projects are coming. Unfortunately, on this section, we notified them kind of late, but we haven't received any response from them saying they were planning anything, because what we tried to tell them was, and we've also told them of the next 2 phases coming, and we've set up, or we're trying to set up an annual meeting with these utilities so that we can tell them what projects we have coming in the next year, 2 years, so that they can do that, they can go in first. But we haven't received any response from any of the utilities that they have a planned project asking us to wait or telling us to expedite, or we haven't received any response for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, comments? Thank you, Director Vi. Thank you, Councilmember Llamas. And then I'll entertain a motion to approve item H, City Council Resolution 7089.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second for resolution number 7089. Any further comments or questions from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Our next item is a public hearing, and if you challenge any proposed action that's described within this, herein court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised in this public hearing. And our first public hearing is to receive a presentation on the status of vaccines and recruitment, vaccinations, study of vaccines.
Vacancies.
I'm sorry. My eyes are going cross-eyed.
vacancies and recruitment strategies for the city of Los Banos pursuant to Assembly Bill 2561. So with this, we'll go to our Human Resource Director, Ms. Carlos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you is a presentation on the status of vacancies and recruitment strategies for the City of Los Banos pursuant to the requirements of Assembly Bill 2561. So for today's presentation, I'm going to provide a brief background on the Assembly Bill, including the authority and the purpose. I'm going to talk a little bit about the legal obligations for the city under the bill. I'm going to cover relevant statistical information, the city's recruitment challenges and efforts. We will go over retention strategies and then staff's recommendation, and then I will conclude with an opportunity for a question and answer session. So Assembly Bill 2561 became effective on January 1st, 2025, and it amended existing law under the Mayor's Milas-Brown Act, which governs the activities of employee organizations on labor relation matters, including wages, hours, and other terms and conditions of employment. The bill added government code section to the act that requires agencies to present on the status of vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts, and it also imposes other obligations for the city. So for context, I will provide a brief background on the few reasons for the passage of AB 2561 as it was presented in the bill. It was determined that there is a statewide interest in ensuring that public agency operations are appropriately staffed. It was also deemed that the high job vacancies in local government are widespread and impact employee workloads. It was further deemed that this understaffing potentially leads to burnout and increased turnover that further exacerbates staffing challenges and ultimately affects the delivery of public services. The bill will also facilitate discussions about recruitment and retention challenges and strategies, and will further allow increased transparency on these types of issues. The bill imposes several legal obligations. The first requirement is to present on the status of vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts during a public hearing at least once per fiscal year. The public hearing must take place before the adoption of the final budget. The bill further entitles recognized employee organizations to make a presentation at the public hearing. A notice of public hearing was sent to each of the city's 6 bargaining units on May 4th, with no expressed interest by any unit to present tonight. There's also an additional reporting requirement for any single bargaining unit with a vacancy rate of 20% or more. None of the bargaining unit vacancy rates reached the threshold to require the additional data reporting. So what does the data tell us for the city of Los Banos? The city has 6 employee organizations or unions and 1 non-represented group. During the fiscal year 25-26 budget, the city council approved a total of 22 new positions for a total of 221 full-time equivalent or FTE positions. In addition to those 22 positions, 23 positions became vacant due to employee attrition, and this would include resignations, retirements, separations, as well as movement due to promotions. So as of today, our approved staffing level is at 221. Our current FTE count is at 210, and we have 11 vacancies. As you can see on your screen, our first union or unit bargaining unit is the Police Officers Association. They have approved staffing of 39 FTEs. There are currently 3 vacancies with a vacancy rate of 7.7 for that unit. The Firefighters Association has 19 approved positions, 2 vacancies with a vacancy rate of 10.5. The Police Sergeant Association has 9 approved positions, 0 vacancies for a 0 vacancy rate. The Police Middle Managers Association has 3 approved positions, 0 vacancies, 0 vacancy rate. The Public Safety Dispatcher and Community Services Officers Association has 19 approved positions. And I made a correction here because at the time we wrote the staff report, there was 3 vacancies, but as of today, there's only 1 vacancy. And so the vacancy rate went down to 5.3%. The Public Works Miscellaneous Unit has 85 approved positions with 2 vacancies for a vacancy rate of 2.4. And then we do have a non-represented group with 47 approved positions, 3 vacancies for a vacancy rate of 6.5%. Total citywide, again, 221 full-time equivalent positions, 11 vacancies, and a 4.9% vacancy rate. So how do we compare to our neighboring cities? So according to data researched, as you can see on the screen here, we have, the city of Los Banos has the lowest vacancy rate in our market area. And the success it's not coincidental. It's a testament to the collaborative recruitment efforts between the departments and deliberate strategies to attract and to retain top talent. Noteworthy is also we lowered our vacancy rate from our 2025 rate. Last year, our vacancy rate was at 7.5%, and it reduced to 4.9% this year. So we do have some recruitment challenges, and I'll also go over the efforts. One of our primary challenges is really just the geographical location of the city. When attracting candidates statewide, especially for high-level technical or management positions, this factor directly impacts our overall compensation competitiveness within the market. It's harder to bring them into town if they're coming from regions that have higher paid positions or for the same position. And what are the strategies that we have in place to recruit effectively? Well, first, I must say that we have a highly effective HR team, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the team that manages the day-to-day. They collaborate very well with the various city departments. We also utilize a portal called NeoGov. It's widely used within the municipalities, and that portal allows applicants to self-schedule, receive notifications quickly, and so it helps with efficiency. This year, we also targeted a larger qualified applicant pool with each recruitment by expanding our advertisement to a variety of sources, so casting a wider net for the best pool out there. We use industry standard examination methods, but also including modern methods such as virtual interviews for efficiency and convenience. One of our more challenging positions to fill is that of our police officers. As you know, the application requirements for public safety are very specialized, and there is a high demand for officers. And some jurisdictions, including Los Banos, have a hiring bonus for that position. And Los Banos recently increased the bonus to attract experienced lateral officers from other agencies to our team. And lastly, our team attends career job fairs to recruit potential applicants into our workforce. So we'll move on to employee retention. The city works continuously to retain its talent. It offers competitive salaries, excellent fringe benefits. The city offers technical training on a variety of topics for our employees to improve performance. And it also offers professional development opportunities such as supervisory management and leadership training. The city offers promotional opportunities. This year alone, 25 employees promoted within the organization. And then this year, we also kicked off a new employee recognition program through the formation of an employee committee who is going to be working on recognition activities. They have formally christened themselves as the Kudos Crew, and it's crew with the K, so it's catchy. The committee will kick off an event in June to recognize the hard work and the dedication that is demonstrated by our employees each and every day when they are out there serving the public. Formal recognition initiatives, whether in small acts or dedicated events, they contribute to team building, driving innovation, and enhancing workplace cultures. And that's the reason for that committee. The city also works hard to maintain collaborative and harmonious relationships with our labor organizations. And lastly, in November of 2025, the council approved an updated policy manual to reflect modern policies that will allow our city to manage fairly, uniformly, and utilize best industry practices. This also helps with our retention efforts. So staff's recommendation tonight is that the City Council receive the presentation on the status of vacancies and recruitment strategies for the City of Los Banos, which will satisfy the requirements of Assembly Bill 2561. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Isabel. Before we open up to the City Council, does anyone from the public would like to come to the public hearing here and speak on the vacancies of the City of Los Banos personnel? Okay, I do not see or hear anyone coming forward. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Is there any comments or questions from the City Council?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The question I have is, do we have any statistics on our vacancy rate versus maybe the state of California or the county of Merced? How are we doing in that regard?
Mayor Pro Tem, I do not have data for the region at the county level or at the state level, but I know that 10 is a low number, and so we're at 4.9, which is very, very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem, I think at the originations of this law, it was a big concern at the state level, and I think this is going back to a couple years ago. Just a couple years ago, the vacancy rates statewide was approximately just above 15%.
So we're doing quite well in comparison to the state, who has passed this law to make sure that county, cities are filling these vacancies within the organization. So thank you for the report, and I think to the citizens of Los Banos, we're doing quite well as far as filling our vacancy rate here, and also finding qualified people to fill those vacancies as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other comments?
Yes, I just want to thank the staff for doing a tremendous job, because as the city's grown, you've kept pace with it and still maintained this very low 4.9%. So again, thank you very much for staff for making sure that we have the personnel to provide the services to our residents. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Those are great numbers. What do you attribute those numbers for? Like, how did we get there? Because it was pretty bad. We did have a lot of vacancies and a lot of openings. So what's different now? How do you think we got down to these numbers?
Well, I see day by day the team working very hard to fill the vacancies, and I know that our turnover rate has also improved this year. Just in general, a rough number that I calculated before this meeting, in the previous 2 years, our turnover rate was at about 15%. And this year, it's at 10%, so it's an improvement. And the turnover rate, it could be employees that have left for either other job opportunities or for personal reasons, not necessarily for any one specific reason, a retirement, those attribute to attrition. But I do see the team working very hard, even at the high-level leadership level. There's a lot of focus on employee retention and starting new programs and creating a good workplace culture for our employees, looking at issues as they come in and addressing them and being responsive to employee needs.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may add a little bit, Councilmember, I think that's a great question. And I would say that leaderships speak volumes. A lot of the comment that I receive is that our staff understand the vision and where we're going. They know that, hey, down the road, 2 years from now, what does the city look like infrastructure-wise, program initiative? And that from a policy level then get translated down to the department head, and the department head is really doing a lot of those works in presenting those information to our staff, going from a directive kind of style of leadership to now a collaborative, understanding from our frontline staff of what is actually happening right now, receiving comments like we have today regarding traffic safety, and how do we build those programs like reestablishing our traffic unit, building traffic unit to do traffic enforcement, to provide those safety for our community. And I think those program and initiatives, especially from a leadership standpoint, to then be translating to staff and then to us, to the department head, that's translate to our frontline staff, that's give clear pictures of what they need to do and how to be successful. And also recognizing them, like today we have our Employee of the Month, highlighting what success look like rather than just focusing on just disciplinary action. So those are all policy changes that recently take place that are now being implemented by our department head.
Great, thank you. Anything?
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to thank you for the report. It was very well put together, and I'm really happy to see we're doing great because as the city continues to grow, I think, making the city a place where people actually want to work is going to be really important just so we don't fall behind. Thank you.
Thank you.
We just pulled up the number for the county for this year, and they're at 12.9%. And last year, they were at 14.7. So we are doing quite well.
So to Councilmember Chavez's question, I think our city manager hit on it, and that's where I was going to go with it. When employees are happy, they have a tendency to stay. And the Air Board, the Valley Air Board that I sit on, it's one of the priorities of that organization is to collaborate with its employees and make sure that everyone has a voice, and to create an environment where people want to work and want to contribute rather than run away from where they work. So it's obvious that we have new management here in our city who's working diligently at that, and I really appreciate it because retention is very important to keep good employees rather than have them flee from our city. Thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Yes, and I just want to announce that at our webpage, losbanos.org, right at the beginning, when you go to that, all the new city positions that we're trying to fill come up first. So please, if you think you might want to work for the city of Los Banos, there's a lot of different positions that open up. They're filling fast because it is a good place to work. And I appreciate the directors and our city manager for making sure that follows through. So with this is a no action item only, it's advisement. We're satisfying AB 2561, and we have done so by making this public. So we'll move to item number, thank you all, and we'll move to item number 9B, is also a public hearing to receive public comment and consideration of finding the project to be categorically exempt from CEQA and approving conditional use permit 2026-02 to allow the off-site of beer and wine type 20 ABC license for Santa Fe Mercado Incorporated, located at 1209 West Pacheco Boulevard. And with this, we'll go to Director Souza Elms.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. Just some background and overview. This particular project site operated with a conditional use permit, and this was for the 99-cent store. And that conditional use permit was back in 2016 for the off-sale of alcohol, so for the same type of alcohol license that is being requested tonight. This 99-cent store closed in 2024, and due to the lapse of their conditional use permit, the applicant now is required to apply for a new conditional use permit as more than a year has gone by. They're not being required to apply for a conditional use permit because of maybe any non-compliance or enforcement issues. It was strictly just because of a lapse in time. And the new applicant is Santa Fe Mercado, Inc., which would be to reinstate the alcohol sales under their new operation at this location. The new location is 1209 West Pacheco Boulevard. This would be their second location. They are located downtown on 6th and K Street. And this would be the second location within the community. They're still planning to operate their original store in downtown. And they have purchased this property as the former 99-cent store. And we're really excited to see them expand within our community. 1209 West Pacheco Boulevard is the southeast corner of Ortigalita Road and West Pacheco Boulevard. It is in the Tractor Supply shopping center, and it is right next to Western Valley Dental and some personal services, DaVita Dialysis, and a salon down on the southern part, and then next to the Stone Creek Plaza to the west. And then to the north is Las Banos Abattoir and agricultural uses. The proposed operations for Santa Fe is a grocery store, and they're seeking approval to sell beer and wine off-site, so a type 20 alcohol license. The store will operate daily from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. with alcohol sales confined to their enclosed grocery area, so within the premises. Alcohol sales are a minor part of the business. The business owner, which we have representatives here tonight, reported that about 1.3% of the project involves alcohol sales. In total of all of their grocery sales, about 1.3% is alcohol sales, and that's on data for their Las Banos location. And the project involves no building expansion or site changes within the footprint of the original 99-cent store. Now, Santa Fe Mercado is doing tenant improvements. They will have an on-site taqueria, just like their downtown location, and they'll have a carniceria there as well. So they will be completing tenant improvements to the former 99-cent store, but they will not be expanding beyond the walls of the original building. Environmental review. This is CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. The project has been deemed to be categorically exempt per section 15301 in that it is an existing facility and no physical expansion or increased intensity of use than what was previously there is being proposed tonight. The use permit analysis, the Las Banos Municipal Code has specific criteria for conditional use permits, specific findings that must be met, and then goes on to provide further findings for the on-sale and off-sale alcoholic beverages. All of those findings are within your staff report, and the issuing authority is ABC, the Department of Alcohol Beverage Control. This project is located within Census Tract 23.01. There are currently 11 existing off-sale alcohol license, and this would add another license to this census tract. But do keep in mind, this site did have most recently, up to 2024, had an existing type 20 alcohol license. And the nearest off-sale license is La Esperanza Food Center. This is the location of Census Tract 23.01 is in the southwest area of the community. It's bound by Pacheco Boulevard, Mercy Springs, and Pioneer Road. It's a very large census tract with a large concentration of commercial businesses within that census tract. This is a floor plan of the new location at 1209 West Pacheco Boulevard. And the red dots symbolize all of the camera locations. The beer cooler is outlined in blue for you to be able to see where that will be located in proximity to the rest of the floor plan, which is actually near the front of the store, but near the cash registers. And there will be interior and exterior cameras throughout the site. These are site photos, all of which are the former 99-cent store, which with the new Santa Fe opening, there will be new branding there, new signage to come. This is the additional site photos from different angles. Public comment, public hearing notices were published in the West Side Express on May 6th and mailed to adjacent property owners within a 300-foot radius of the project site. And as of today's date, no comments have been received. Staff is recommending that the City Council would consider adopting resolution number 7095, finding the proposed project to be categorically exempt from CEQA, and approve conditional use permit number 2026-02 to allow the off-sale of beer and wine through a Type 20 ABC license for Santa Fe Mercado, Inc., located at 1209 West Pacheco Boulevard. That concludes my presentation. Representative is here, an owner, Cesar Mendoza, and also their quality control specialist is here as well to answer any questions.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing on this item that was just stated by Stacy. Any questions or comments on this? You may come forward. Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and turn it to the City Council for comments, questions. Any? Refugio?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank and congratulate the owners for continuing to invest in the city of Los Banos. We very much appreciate that, and I wish you all the success. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that. You have a very clean, well-organized store downtown, and we're excited to see expansion in our community. Please come to the mic. Yeah. Wait, we'll have to turn it on real fast. You got it? Thank you.
Is it on?
Yes, on.
Yes, we believe that we're well received here since the last year. Los Banos has been the #1 selling store of the 10 stores that we have. We strive for excellence. Again, we know that there's a long way to go, but we're always pushing to have great customer service, have quality product, freshness. So we hope that you guys enjoy our product and that we have people that are motivated to come and work with us. We want people that have they want responsibilities and they have high quality standards and are looking, to maybe start their career there with us. I've been personally with Santa Fe Foods for 6 years. Maricela has been tomorrow 12 years, I believe. She started as a cashier, moved into a store manager level, and then she became our environmental health and safety specialist. We have Rafa Vargas, which is in Los Banos, the manager in Los Banos, that has been with the company for 16 years, 10 years here in Los Banos. So we do have people that are like family. We believe that the community also feels that they are family. They know them by name, and that's what we're looking forward to do, to continue that growth and have that small town feeling on our grocery stores as well. My brother is the president and founder, started the company in 2006. He had been working in the grocery business for like 20 years and finally had an opportunity to get a small, like 8,000 square feet location, and he has been tenacious growing the company. So like I said, there's 10 stores. There's another one in Merced, which is in Livingston. That is the newest store that we have so far, and I think we just had a 2-year anniversary around April 9th of this year. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions? for the-
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Well, that was the question I was going to ask you, if you had other locations other than Los Banos. And
Yes.
this is a family-owned business?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, single owner.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just him. And then we're also looking into a project in Merced. So if everything goes well, we should also be in Merced shortly.
Okay. Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
No, I just want to say thank you very much. Oh, we got someone there who wants to. Yeah, come on up. You want-
Yeah.
Oh,
I already closed.
oh,
the
it's
public-
closed it. Oh, okay, because he was talking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to say thank you for investing in the community. I'm glad that you've gotten the outpouring of the community to support you like that, where you guys want to invest some more. And so it's very well received and very much appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and open the public hearing again, sir. You can come up. Oh, website, that's it.
Website is santafefoods.org.
Great. Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing again and turn it back to the city council. We will need to approve, let's see, resolution 7095 to allow the off-sale of beer and wine type 20 ABC license to Santa Fe Mercado Inc., located at 1209 West Pacheco Boulevard.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second as stated. Further questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Well, we have another public hearing to receive public comment and consideration of introduction and waiver of first reading of ordinance amending accessory dwelling units, ADU, and junior accessory dwelling units, JADU, regulations. And with this, we'll turn this back over to our Director, Souza Elms.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. So just an overview of this particular item before you. It is a housekeeping item. This is to ensure that the city of Los Banos aligns with recent California state law changes. We do have a current ordinance that's in place, and it's been in place since 2021, which kept up with all of the various housing bills that had occurred previously. The big swath of them had occurred back in 2019. So that update was done in 2021. We've had some recent updates within the last several years, and this is a policy actually within our newly adopted housing element that we would come back to the council with an updated ordinance. This update emphasizes ministerial approval and removes barriers, reducing local discretion in accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling unit development. We essentially, this housekeeping item, this amendment to our existing ADU ordinance just aligns with California law. Currently, right now, any discrepancy that maybe our current ordinance has that doesn't quite align with state housing laws, state ADU laws, the state is the default currently right now. So what this does is it helps just streamline and it ensures compliancy and clarity so that applicants, property owners, developers are aware of what those policies are and where the city has discretion that we're able to do so. State law changes, and those have been highlighted for you within the staff report, and that the need for the update. So like I said, recent California bills expanded ADU allowances. really provided some clarity within the law and limited local regulation to address housing shortages. This is one of many housing laws that the state has enacted to really help with housing production and housing affordability. Like previously said, there is a ministerial approval process. So it does not go to a discretionary hearing, doesn't go to the Planning Commission or City Council. It is ministerially with a building permit. Local ordinances are required to be updated so that we can comply with state laws. And the update to the codes avoids legal conflicts, streamlines processes, and provides predictable rules for applicants. Zoning and eligibility, ADU and JADUs are allowed on all residential lots with a single-family or multifamily dwelling unit. Single-family properties are allowed one ADU and one JDU with a single-family residence. So a property could have a single-family dwelling and one ADU and a JADU. So could have multiple dwelling units technically on one property, even though it's located within a single-family residential zoning district. And then for multifamily properties, multiple ADUs can be added within an existing multifamily building, and up to 2 detached ADUs are allowed. And this improves transparency and efficiency with clear rules for application processing, which just makes it easier for applicants. And so that's one of the areas that the state really emphasized in these new housing bills, especially as it relates to ADUs. The ministerial approval is a 60-day timeline. It is approved at a staff level. Like I said, no public hearings, which reduces delays. That 60-day approval timeline means that city staff has to approve or deny the application within 60 days of receiving the application once it's been deemed complete. And that's to ensure efficient processing. Should the city, for whatever reason, go past the 60 days, technically that application is deemed approved at the 60-day mark. And again, it formalizes procedures and reduces procedural errors, improves customer service in housing development, all of the goals of which the state of California has set for housing production. Standards for parking and utilities. The ordinance removes minimum lot size and simplifies setback rules. So there is no minimum lot size. There used to be, you had to be on a specific sized lot in order to qualify, and that now has been removed. And then it also simplifies the setback rules. Its setback is still 4 feet to the side yard and 4 feet from rear yard, enabling ADUs to be constructed on smaller lots. The ADU size limits are set between 850 and 1,000 square feet, while JADUs, junior ADUs, are limited to no bigger than 500 square feet. Typically, a JADU, an example would be like a garage conversion. That's our typical of what we see mostly within Los Banos. That's the majority of JADUs, but also under ADU law, a single-family dwelling is allowed to convert a bedroom into a JADU. Parking is reduced to 1 space per ADU with exceptions for transit areas. So if an ADU is located within 1/4 mile of a transit area, and what qualifies as transit is just to have a bus stop. So for transit areas and conversions, allowing flexible parking options. So if it's a garage conversion or a shed, some sort of an existing structure conversion, those parking standards are reduced, as well as being within 1/4 mile of a transit area or stop. The utility fees are reduced with no impact fees for ADUs that are under 750 square feet, and no separate utilities required for JADUs. Now, this is one area that you'll see in the red lines that has been cleaned up to the benefit, I feel, to the discretion of the city. Whereas previously in our previous ordinance, it said that ADUs may be required, which was very passive language, may be required to have separate utility connection. And now with the update, it actually says required. An ADU is required, if it's eligible, to have a separate utility connection. But again, it does not apply to JADUs. They are not required to have a separate utility connection. CEQA exemption, the state of California has provided a specific exemption for ADUs and JADUs as it causes no direct or foreseeable physical environmental change, and it's ministerial and exempt from CEQA. Recommendation, staff is recommending that the City Council would consider waiving the first reading and introduce ordinance number 1216 by title. This is a public hearing, so I'd request that you open the public hearing and then close the public hearing. And that I am here, this concludes my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. And so we are going to open up the public hearing and receive public comment on ADUs and JADUs. In the olden days, we used to call these granny flats in your backyard. If you wanted to build a small residential home, very small in your backyard, that's what this is talking about. If you want to speak about this subject, please come forward to the podium. Please state your name for the record. Nope, sorry, could you turn that on? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is it on? Oh.
Yeah.
Miguel Alejandre. I guess I have a question. If I wanted to build an ADU behind my home, can I also build a new JADU, or does it have to be a garage conversion for the JADU?
So a JADU has to be within the premises of the existing single-family dwelling. So it has to be within the footprint. So a garage would be considered within that footprint. So you can have one JADU, whether it's a garage conversion or a bedroom conversion, and then you can have a detached accessory dwelling unit or attached, technically, accessory dwelling unit. But you can only have one JADU and one ADU with one single-family dwelling.
Okay, so I can have a detached ADU and a detached JADU.
It cannot be detached. JADU has to be
Can be in
within
one- okay,
the
okay.
single-family premises.
And with the parking, if it's only a two-car garage, or one-car garage actually, and there's only one driveway, what should I be looking at if, since it's gonna have the single-family home, the JADU, and the ADU? Does that mean I have to have 3 available parkings on the lot, or can I use a street parking?
You would need to have at least an extension of your driveway to be able to provide for 3. If it is only a one-car garage, so we would count the garage, we would consider the driveway, which takes care of your single-family dwelling. The JADU is not required to provide parking, but the detached or attached ADU would be required 1 parking space. So we could do in the driveway, then another car could be parked. So yes, it would be 3 parking stalls, technically.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please come forward. Please state your name for the recorded record. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Adriana Discoa, and I have a question. So for this ADUs and ADUs, will the City of Los Baños have floor plans? Or do I need to get an architect for this type of design, or do I have to sketch it up?
We do not have approved floor plans at the moment. We are working on it. It is a requirement of state law. First, we have to get our ordinance into compliance, and that's our next step, is to have pre-approved building plans so that it really streamlines the process. So we are working towards that, as many cities are as well that are in the same boat as the city of Los Banos. So you wouldn't necessarily need to hire an architect. We do have draftsmen that can do it, or if it's a garage conversion, you can do that yourself as a homeowner.
Okay.
Our building department is really great to work with, and they can help walk you through the process. And as well as the planning department, we'd help guide you and help advise on setbacks and how that unit can be built.
Okay, I see, because I know that having the opportunity to do this type of new dwelling inside a home is gonna help with renting out, because now you're gonna be able to legally rent out that space, either within your house or outside. So I know many homeowners or many people will be also wanting to pursue, but there's also going to be a budget conflict. So that's why planning is, doing plans is expensive. So if the city were to have pre-approved, that will be essential, for the community, because it's just like a one-stop shop. Go to the building department, get the permit, apply, and there's several layouts that you can choose from. But, okay, I'll be
Coming
reaching
soon.
out. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your time. Thank you.
Please state your name for the recorded record.
Juan Quintero. My question is for a detached ADU. So the maximum size is has to be 749, right? Nothing 750 or bigger than that?
No, it's between 850 and 1,000. It depends on the eligibility, and that's based on size of the single-family dwelling unit or whether it has 2 bedrooms. 750 would just pertain to impact fees, so utility connections.
Okay.
So if it's less than that, no impact fees are required. It's just a building permit. If it's bigger than that, then it's based on a proportionate share. So it's a reduced amount of impact fees based on a proportion, that percentage of that unit to the primary dwelling unit. So if it's only 25% of the square footage of the main dwelling unit, only 25% of the impact fee is charged towards that new, but it has to be over 750 square feet to be charged impact fees.
Okay. I'm not sure. I have another question. I'm not sure if it applies to this, but if there is land and it's going to be a brand new construction for a home, does the city have any plans for that?
So if it is a brand-new unit, it can be, an ADU can be constructed with the brand-new single-family dwelling. It can be constructed concurrent. Now, we don't have, like the previous speaker asked, do we have an already approved set of ADU plans? We do not. That's in our next phase, and we are working on that as state law requires it. So that we are working on that. But can an ADU be built, on raw land ahead of a single-family dwelling? No, it has to be either concurrent or after a single-family, the primary dwelling unit.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, questions. Anyone else? Okay, I don't see or hear anyone coming forward. We'll close the public hearing. Turn it over to the council. Any further questions or comments to staff?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. My question is, there was statement, Stacy, from you that people would possibly be converting sheds. That is a concern for me. I don't know how that falls under state law. I'm hoping that with our design standards coming up, that whatever the existing house is, that the ADU would be similar to that construction and not just a tough shed picked up at Home Depot or a box store and put in the backyard as an ADU. To me, it needs to lend to the character of the home that's existing as well as the community, and not just something that's put on the ground that could be dropped from the sky. So could you help out with that? I mean, are we going to have design standards not just 10 interior designs that you can choose from, but are we going to have a standard in our city where people are going to have to at least have that ADU to be close to the architecture style of their home?
Sure. So state law, it does really prohibit the city's discretion in the elevations and the look of the unit. However, what the state has said is that those standards have to be objective. So in terms of maybe paint color and materials, we need to be very objective. Now, we do currently regulate on ADUs and that it is in similar material. If it's stucco, we ask that the ADU be stucco. If there's siding, like this example on this slide of the primary dwelling, then we ask that it is similar in nature. So we do ask, but on a very thin line, that we have to be very objective and not subjective. So we do, tread that line and really try to make sure that it is in compliance with the primary dwelling unit.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of along the same lines, could someone just buy a sea container or two, drop it in the backyard and start going to town and make it one?
You need a building permit. That's first and foremost. So that becomes very difficult, especially to meet Title 24 and energy codes in the state of California. Dropping a shipping container seems like it's a great idea, but essentially by the time you're done with all of the energy efficiency that you need to put into that unit, it really isn't that much more efficient in terms of cost. So the building permit is going to make sure that it meets building code requirements and to be a habitable, dwelling space. So that in itself really prohibits us seeing any of those types of units. What we do see is modular, where they're prefabbed and then brought in. We have seen one example of that. Otherwise, they're typically garage conversions. That's the majority that we see in Las Banos. Or we see conventional stick build.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone on this side?
I have a quick question. Are there any other restrictions that we currently do have that that the city would be losing control over?
Well, our current ordinance pretty much was already in line with any type of discretion that the city had. And then with further, new housing laws, that discretion that the city had was even more, lessened. So it really lends to the state coming in and saying, hey, cities, you are still using your ordinances and your discretion to prohibit this type of use. And the state of California has continued to say, no, we're taking that discretion away from you. So in terms of the areas of where we can have discretion, for instance, the utility connection, that is an area that the state has said, cities, you don't have to require that separate utility connection, but we as a staff have said, no, that's important. We need that separate utility connection. Again, parking, we could completely waive parking, but the state has said, no, for certain criteria, you do have to reduce, cities, you can't force that parking, but we have said, no, we want to maintain that parking requirement. So where we do have discretion, we've really put that within the ordinance. Otherwise, the state has taken that discretion away from us completely. I will say, just as a note to just put that, plant that seed for the future, I do see that the state of California will continue to take that discretion away from cities, and that ADUs will just continue to become more flexible in the state's efforts to help create more affordable housing.
Thank you. And also just for public knowledge, about how many ADU applications are we getting a year currently?
So a solid 20-ish, which out of, 200, 250 permits, maybe 10% are ADUs. They come in waves as well. So we will see with our new update in our ordinance. Like I said, the state has been the default, and we haven't really seen an uptick. And so I don't see with the passing of, the update of this ordinance that we'll really see, an uptick. And ADUs, it'll just be probably our normal cadence.
Got it. Thank you.
I think that's what I have my problem with, is local control is being taken away by the state. And I'm one to believe that we know what's best for our town. You vote people in to make the decisions, to change ordinances, and now the state is basically taking that away. And like Stacy said, it's probably going to get stricter more in the future on these things. And that's what I really have the issues with. Los Banos is a lot different than Santa Barbara, and we shouldn't have the same rules, So some of it makes sense, but some of it doesn't. The parking is my biggest concern. We already have, houses with 5 bedrooms that have 5 or 6 cars at them, and those streets are, and so in the future, when we design our developments and our subdivisions, I know, at least myself, I'm looking for smaller bedrooms, smaller amount of bedrooms and houses, and less expensive housing, so people can afford it instead of building these real expensive houses. But anyway, with that, we will need to waive the first reading of ordinance number 1216. So if anyone has that motion, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to waive the first reading and introduce ordinance 1216 as read by title.
You can do it as one motion.
You can?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, the last city attorney told me I couldn't. Okay, I like that. Thank you, Margaret. Okay, so we have a motion, and we do not have a second yet. Do we have a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion to waive and the first reading and introduce the ordinance number 1216 to the city council. Any further comments or questions? This is an ordinance, so Sarah, if you could give a roll call vote, please.
Perez,
Yes.
Yamas,
Yes.
Chavez,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Allenville.
Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. And we will move on to the number 10, consideration and nomination of Merced County Association of Governments, MCAG, Measure V, Citizen Oversight Committee. And with this, we'll go to our city manager, Mr. Than.
Mayor and City Council, as you are aware, our Measure V is a half-cent sales tax that are responsible for help maintaining our transportation systems. That is our paving, bridge, sidewalk, bike lanes. As part of the tax measures, the citizens of Merced County has also included an oversight portion of that, and that is to be done through an oversight committee. In the last year or so, Blanche has served as our oversight member that was nominated and to fill an unexpired terms. However, now we come into the next cycle to where City Council need to nominate or to extend her terms for this oversight committee. The oversight committee play a very important role in making sure that the intended use of Measure V are being utilized and implemented per tax measures. That's including making sure that those money go directly toward transportation systems and improving the transportation network within each city and are being used specifically if it's a local fund that are being used for those paving projects, if it's a regional fund that is used for those intended grant program or the selected project for those regional dollar amount. So with that, Mayor, this will be a nomination for you. We have opened it at applications. To receive application, we will only receive one, and that is from Blanche George herself. So with that, I'll leave that up to you for the nominations.
Okay, thank you. And Blanche has done an excellent job. The 6 months you've been on it, 7, 8, something like that. She's actually, she also spends a lot of time at the MCAG meetings, the board meetings too. So she knows what's going on at the MCAG level, and I do appreciate that. And I know MCAG staff appreciates your involvement. So with that, at this time, I'd like to nominate Blanche George for the Measure V Oversight Committee. And if we could have a second on that, and then.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Thank you, Blanche. Now, item 11, let's see, the city department's reports. We'll go back to Director Souza Elms on Community Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I did want to report that myself and my admin coordinator just came back from the International Council of Shopping Centers in Las Vegas, which is a national retail show. This benefits the city with recruitment for new retailers, hotels, and restaurants. We met with several retailers, brokers, developers. This helps strengthen relationships with those retailers, developers, and brokers. And it gives us an opportunity to showcase development opportunities in Las Banos. Every retailer you can imagine is at that national show. I've been going for the last several years, and this particular show had a lot more retailers back to pre-COVID attendance, so a lot more booths and retailers there, and it was estimated that there was probably about over 35,000 people in attendance. So if you can imagine it, they're all there. This is the one time a year that all of those retailers are in one place. So it gives us an opportunity to have that FaceTime directly with those retailers and really put Las Banos on the radar, on the map, and just highlight what type of business-friendly community that we are, and that we're open for business, and that we have lots of opportunity here within our community. So lots of leads. We've had successes over the last several years, which I know I can rattle off a dozen, but I won't beat that horse. So my next item is that we have no PC meeting, no Planning Commission meeting for next Wednesday, May 27th. The Planning Commission's going to have a night off. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Stacy? Okay, we'll go to Finance Director Minnie Moreno. Minnie?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Our finance team has been working diligently to bring forward a balanced operating budget and a fully developed one-time funding plan for vehicle replacement, facility needs, and priority capital projects. And by working diligently, they're actually at the office right now, working diligently to get me numbers tomorrow. So staff has spent the past several weeks reviewing revenue projections, refining cost estimates, and coordinating closely with every department to ensure accuracy and alignment with the council priorities. With both the operating budget and one-time plan complete, the team is finalizing documentation and preparing it to present to council on the 3rd. So we've been working very diligently, and we're very happy with a lot of the product that's coming out. I also want to inform council and the public, we are going to be increasing our water, wastewater, and solid waste rates by CPI 2.48 on July 1st. So that was approved back by council a couple years ago, and so the CPI that we're going to be applying is 2.48. And then I also want to remind the community that we do want to keep helping with payment plans if anybody has a payment plan need, so we don't shut off your water. Come and see us. We've been able to help a lot of families establish those. And if you have an issue, even when you establish the payment plan, keep us informed, let us know, and we'll continue on doing that. And then I didn't have an opportunity to thank my staff at the budget meeting, so I want to thank them. They work really hard, and when we talk about retention and when we talk about all of these vacancies, I think it is a representation of how we treat our employees and how we provide them with all the information, and we provide them with a lot of mentorship, and that's what makes the difference, I think, and they provide to us then good work product, and they provide to us that quality that we're looking for in Los Banos, and then it provides the culture that then changes and motivating them and letting them know that they can, be happy and they can come to work excited. And so I do want to thank my staff for all that they do for the city of Los Banos, but especially for me as a director in bringing to council really good work product. And financial numbers sometimes can be very hard to understand, and just being able to help me get those numbers to me and then me being able to provide them to you, I think it's a great accomplishment for my staff. So wanted to give them kudos.
Great. Well, the budget is a big process, and you and your staff are doing a great job. All these people over here have asked for a lot of stuff this year, along with these 5 up here and this guy right here.
Yeah, and making that happen and with prudent and accuracy and letting you know what, we're very lucky to be in the city of Los Banos and in the state of our finances. I know a lot of other cities are hurting. And so I do want to thank the council for allowing us to present to you what the needs of the city are, and then making sure that the long-range plans that we're going to be bringing to you, that we're also able to fulfill those.
Great. Thank you very much. Any questions from me by the council? Okay. Okay, Fire Chief. Oh, I have Paul Twala here, but let's see. We'll go with Brandon, I think.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. The fire department has nothing to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Doing a good job over there, Brandon. Okay, Human Resources Director Carlos.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I have no report tonight, but I do want to congratulate our new hires, our promotions, and our Employee of the Month.
Great.
On behalf of the department. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Park and Recreation Director Heim.
All right, thank you. First thing I wanted to do was give a big thank you to William and the Public Works team. I don't know if you all have noticed yet, but along the canal trail, it's fully complete for the overlay. That was as part of a grant from the San Joaquin River Exchange Contractors Water Authority, but I just really wanted to give a big thank you to the streets team. Went out there several times while they're working on it. Really positive attitude, and the response from the public was really fantastic as well. So very much appreciate their help. As well, we have T-ball underway. That's Thursday nights at Anoa Jones. So if you drive by, you'll see the kids out there. It's one of my favorite seasons of the year. We're also registering for youth soccer for the fall. That one usually sells out for most of the age groups, so check out registration for that. We've had some successful volunteer days, including on May 9th, we were out at College Greens where we painted the basketball court, and next month we'll be at Noah Jones for the movie night in the park. That's June 13th. On June 13th, or the daytime as well, we'll have a 3v3 youth basketball tournament, which will be in the gym across the way here. The last thing I wanted to update was that Parks and Rec staff are in process of a different registration service for our recreation programs. We're looking to bring on Tyler, which is the finance system that we have already in place, so it'll all sync up with our City Hall system, but it'll be a little bit different of a look. But from what I've seen and our staff has worked on it, it's pretty intuitive, so looking forward to that. We're hoping to roll that out as early as July 1st.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Any questions? Okay. We'll go with our commander, Police Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll start with a little bit of what occurred at the end of last week. On the 14th, we were fortunate enough to attend the Officer of the Year ceremony at the Elks Lodge in Merced, put on by the Merced County Sheriff's Department. During that ceremony, we honored our Officer of the Year, Miguel Barrera. He's one of our detectives. He's also a defensive tactics instructor, a range master, and our explorer advisor. So in addition to being the POA president. So he's a very busy individual, and we're very, very proud of him, and we were happy to be able to honor him during that service. On the 15th, we participated in a procession to honor our retired police chief, St. Marie, who recently passed away. He was our 7th chief of police. And he started, after serving in the Air Force, he started in 1966 and retired as the chief in September 30th of 1993. So we were very happy to partake in that procession ceremony to honor him and send him off in an appropriate manner. In addition to that, our staff has taken part in multiple career fairs during the last couple weeks. Our SROs have been hard at work, taking part in interacting with the youth, and they've had a lot of good feedback in that process as well. As many of the folks in the community are aware, today we had a large amount of motor officers in the city. It was a shock to many of the folks in the community, but I do think that it had the intended consequences of kind of kicking off the traffic initiative that the council's been so grateful to invest in within our department. And it's the initiative of one of the directions that the chief has been providing to staff to make sure that we're focusing on that traffic enforcement. During this, we had 18 officers engage in traffic enforcement in our community. Most of them were motor officers. They came from Merced PD, Dos Palace PD, the California Highway Patrol, Los Banos PD, and Outwater Police Department. So the process is part of a site operation, and it's a initiative that the California Highway Patrol is kind of spearheaded. And what these officers that are part of this committee do is they go from city to city every month and engage in traffic enforcement in a different city. So we will be seeing this again. During this traffic enforcement, we had several hundred traffic stops, and I think we had definitely had a significant impact in the traffic flow in the city, because on social media I was monitoring, many people were warning others to slow down on Pacheco and slow down in the school zones. So very fortunate to see that, and it's a great kickoff to what we're looking at in the future with our traffic unit. So thank you very much.
Great, Commander, and we really do appreciate that, because we all experienced the traffic issues, especially around schools and on Highway 152, trucks running red lights, and so I'm glad to see that, hoping it comes around again real soon. And plus, what you said, we now have a traffic division in our police department because of our concerns. So thank you very much. We'll go to Public Works, Director Vi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Real quick, I was going to start off by thanking the council for approving the street rehab project and then kind of talk about those, but we covered those, so this will be a little bit shorter. The first thing is, some of you may have noticed, we put out a notice that the signal light at B in Las Palmas will become functional on Friday. This Friday, May 22nd. We were out there, they programmed it yesterday. We were out there and we ran it through a few cycles to make sure it was operating correctly. To our, I don't know, surprise, I guess, everybody just stopped at the reds and went on the greens for the most part, so it worked out pretty well. So we kind of put that out there, let everybody get used to the idea that it's going to be functioning on Friday, and then everybody will have the weekend to kind of get used to it. So anybody that's out there, pay attention, because that light will be functioning on Friday. And the other part is also about a light. The signal light at Pioneer and Ortigalita is going to be energized this Friday. Originally, that was set to be energized on June 17th. It got moved up. We were put on a list so that if any project got canceled in the immediate area, we were at the top of the list. I think most of that was due mostly to the city manager and conversations with PG&E. They put us to the top of that list. So apparently somebody canceled, so we've gained about a month on that. So that will be energized this Friday, and then we'll have to schedule the programming like we did for the B and Las Palmas. But I'm hoping we can get all of that done, and that thing will be live and operating before the end of June. And that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you very much. And we'll go to our city attorney, Mary Lerner.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just want to say that last week I attended the Cal City's annual City Attorney Conference. It's always a good opportunity for learning, so I want to thank the council for that opportunity. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll go to City Manager Nuran Than.
Mayor, very similar to fires and PD, I got the opportunity to attend quite a few career fair, or career day, I should say. And this morning was LBE Career Day, so we had a blast over there. And I gotta say that there seemed to be a competition going on between fire and PD on who's bringing the best rig and who has the loudest sirens over at the school. But the best impact about that is to look at the kid and have them asking some of these amazing questions about what does our public safety do, what does the city do. Also, we have a team from recreation, because when you start asking questions about, to these young kids in elementary schools, like, do you know, in the city of Los Banos, do you know what does the city do on a daily basis? They're like, police and fire, and they might see those two things, but they forget about all the other things with all of our department head that we have planning, we have traffic, we have public work, we have recreation, HR, finances, all of these things that we could only do, and then just trying to educate them on those kind of things was an amazing experience for me. And I thank our staff for making the time out of your busy day during budget season to actually go and attend those. So thank you to all department head and the staff for attending the career day. And also, thank you to the police department. I know that you were mentioning that it was rotations on a monthly basis, but it was month of coordinations in advance, so trying to coordinate to have these special enforcement today. And that reinforced our next steps, which is to increase our traffic safety among schools. Like the mayor mentioned, so we do hear you loud and clear when you talked about traffic safeties and stuff. We've actually started engaging in traffic safety and local road safety plan quite a number of years ago, and that will continue to happen. In this budget cycle, you will see quite a few budgetary asks from council for those. In particular, we talk a lot about crossings. We have actually 10 crossing around school within that was just approved by the Traffic Safety Committee to look at the rectangular rapid flashing beacons, so that make crossing a lot safer for all of our students. So that is what we budgeted for design for next year's, and hopefully go into construction the year after. I do want to touch base on the ADU and JADU a little bit, as I think you all have seen this. I think there's no dispute that there is a need for affordable housing, that based on our current AMI, average median incomes, that Los Banos housings need more affordable housing in general. However, I want to just state this from a factual level, is that when we consider affordable housing, especially at a cost of reduced impact fee, at a cost of not meeting certain regulations like parking, those impact does not go unnoticed. Those go back to the community. There's a reason why the city have a Nexus study looking at impact fee for all single family home, because those impact fee go to pay for traffic safety, go to pay for intersection, go to pay for the upgrade of the water system, go to pay for wastewater treatment plant, animal control, public safety, you name it. Once those mechanisms are taken away for the sake of affordable housing, those impact will likely be felt by the rest of the community. Specifically, first thing that we usually see is vehicle enforcement. Not enough, not sufficient parking, not sufficient this and that are continue to come over. So I think that is just a caution that unfortunately that the direction of this is going. We need to then come up with long-term plans to how do we make this sustainable while continue to still be providing those affordable housing. There is no perfect answer. Each organization in each city will have a unique situation to solve, a separate problem. But it's something that we will be bringing back to council. I know the first item that Stacy mentioned is going to be that community design standards. So that's the first a line of defense for that. And in addition to that, Public Work will also be bringing a new update improvement standards in the future as well. So there is a lot of work cut out for us, but we'll continue to chip at it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. We'll go to our council members' report, and we'll start with District 3, Councilmember Chavez.
All right. So, originally what I wanted to talk about was, what's been going on lately, attending the Livingston City, the city and county relations dinner, and also, touring Public Works. And, I was with Miss Lewis, Saturday ago, I think it was, Clean Air Now, or whatever that is. But I'll let you speak to that kind of stuff. I kind of wanted to change this around a little bit, because tonight we had people that, they came up and, First Lady was, Kristen Qualis talking about, losing a loved one and what took place there. What happened there, what she's seeing on Santa Barbara. Then Jeff De La Cruz comes up and he starts, telling us about what's going on at school, along with Christine Sass, Juan Quinteros. You got Maria Castaneda talking about, what she's having to see, and people don't need to see that, and kids don't need to see that kind of stuff. Paula Lopez is talking about, people are not doing what they're supposed to do, whether it's school buses, it's police, or, people that are working there at the school. There's a whole host of issues here. Definitely, the resounding issue here is that we got traffic issues, we got problems with that. Look, I live near that area. I lived on Palermo before that high school went up. When it went up, I saw a significant increase in traffic, and then it's continued, and then there's been some more homes built. I live now close to where the new light just went up, and I understand when the people are saying that light would have been better utilized at the school. To be honest, I as a citizen, yeah, I could probably agree with that. Just Sunday, I see somebody running the stop, and I've seen many times at my own home. I've had people approach me about, I think it's over at Overland, and they're talking about people that are just running stops, and some people are wanting speed bumps in certain areas, and I understand that there's a process for all this stuff. There's studies. There's also safety, a component about that as far as major, arteries of the city where you can't slow down, police, fire, ambulance, stuff like that. And I get a lot of that stuff. So there's not going to be one solution to this. Everything's going to have to be taken, piece by piece. But, I was a sixth grader in Miano. I was crossing guard. I'm surprised they let us kids do that back then, and it was just me and another one. We were just coming out whenever we thought we should. They still have crossing guard today. I'm glad to see it's adults out there, which it should be. So, what are the different solutions with what we can do with Pacheco? What can we do now? What can we do long-term in the future? There's a lot of different things that I think we can look at to come up with some solutions there. Something quick's probably going to be crossing guard, but where does the school district fall into this as well? Where's the help there? Because Miano's taking care of what they've been doing for many, many years since I was there. So I think we need to have those types of discussions, come up with some creative solutions. I'm glad to see that the police department had what they had going on and pulling people over. I know a lot of people don't want to get tickets, but at the same time, people aren't going to change their behavior unless it hits the wallet. And unfortunately, these economic times, it's tough. But myself being in the transportation industry, I've got two-way cameras, I've got AI. We get reports when a driver runs a stop, we know right away. We deal with that as soon as it happens. People that are speeding, we get those alerts and stuff like that. So there's AI, there's different things that can be done. I'm not saying put up cameras and have AI just start spitting out tickets. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a different solution for different types of things, and I think we got to look outside the box and figure out what's going to work for the city long term. It's not about citing people and cities trying to make money. It's not about that. It's changing behavior. What changes behavior, unfortunately, is when it impacts someone's wallet. Why do I know this? Because I see it with our truck drivers. And we've got bonus programs in place to incentivize safety. And when people start getting impacted on their wallets, that's when you start seeing change occur. And eventually people lose their jobs. We try to, coach people, make them better drivers. And because we want our people to go home every single day. We want our community to go home every single day. And we don't need to see this kind of stuff. And like the lady said earlier about, and I'm not saying that our police force is not following the rules, but what I'm saying is just like myself, if at work, if I'm going to sit there and hold people accountable, I got to make sure I'm using my blinkers, that I'm not speeding, I'm wearing my safety vest, personal protective gear, whatever it is. I got to lead by example. And I think, school bus drivers, police, everybody has to lead by example, but we also have to hold people accountable too if we're to make any kind of meaningful impact and change to solve these type of issues. And it's sad because what...
Councilmember, yeah.
Oh,
what's that?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put that in the
This is
future.
turning into a lengthy agenda item that hasn't
Well,
been noticed for the public, so.
Okay, well, the reason why, because we see the people here was very important to them, and that's why I was talking about this, because I want them to know that we do take it seriously. And we do. That's the reason why. I usually don't say very, very much at all, and I wanted to get up there in public forum to kind of talk about this somewhat. But it's important. I'm going to leave it as we have to do better and we have to do something. That's my point. That's what I wanted to drive home. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll move on to Mayor Pro Tem District 4, Deborah Lewis.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I do want to give thanks to the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District and Valley Can, which they work in conjunction with them to provide a tune-in, tune-up clean air event, which was held on May 9th here at our fairgrounds in Los Banos. We had many vehicles that showed up that day. People were lined up at 4 a.m. in the morning who had concern as to whether or not their vehicles would be able to pass smog. And if they couldn't, then they could sign up for a voucher with a pre-assigned repair shop to see if there could be adjustments made to their vehicles to pass smog. Now, the San Joaquin Air Pollution Control District also has grants for people who are income verified to be able to purchase either a new or used EV or hybrid vehicle. Unfortunately, because of cutbacks in budgets at the federal level as well as the state, we have a list of people that are waiting in this fiscal year for those type of assistant programs to purchase the vehicle, but they can be put on a list for next year. So that program has become very popular to help people get out of their vehicles that can't pass smog, and they can't afford to pay the high price to have their vehicles serviced. And of course, the San Joaquin Air Pollution Control District is considered a medical organization whereby we try to reduce pollution in the valley for people who have asthma, respiratory problems, and it's all built around health issues. So it was a very successful day, and Councilmember Chavez attended. There was marketing done. There was a video recording done that's going to be placed online with Valley Air as well as with Valley Can. And they had a national sponsor there as well. So I was very pleased with how it turned out and to see the number of residents in our area that need to have help with their vehicle or just to see if they're able to pass smog. So good turnout and good event. At our last board meeting this past Thursday, we went over our budget workshop. We didn't pass the budget, it was just the budget workshop about which each department is requesting and the things that need to be done based on the mandates for the Valley Air Board. One of the things that I noticed is that generally our budget's around $500 million a year, but it's significantly less based on federal money coming down and what the state is able to grant. So we're looking probably around $300 million this year, which the priority for the board is to help farmers continue to transition their tractors from combustion into EV, and some of the programs like Tune In and Tune Up. We were able, as a city, to acquire a grant from them this year for $150,000, which is helping us to convert our chamber at City Hall to be able to come to the standard of what the state is requiring us to do as far as participation for the public. And with that grant, it is around the idea that people will not necessarily have to travel, which cuts down on air pollution, to City Hall to participate in the meeting. They can participate from home or wherever they are from work or what have you. So that's kind of a new state mandate that's come down that will be effective July 1st of this year. I also would like to just give a shout out because last week was National Police Officers Week, and last year this time some of us were in Washington DC for One Voice when that happened. So to all of our police officers, not only in Los Banos, but throughout the state of California and out throughout our nation, I want to give a shout out to them because it's a very hard job to do. And sometimes there is a lack of appreciation for what they do to try to maintain our community, the peace and the safety that they provide to the community that we live in. Just a couple of other things. We have Mrs. George, who comes often and speaks about animals, but I would like to just make an additional statement that we do have an ordinance in our city that requires you, when you're walking your dog, that your dog has to be on minimal a 6-foot leash, and you are also required to carry waste bags with you. When I'm walking my dog, I see so much animal waste all over the ground. I don't know if people are, just letting their dogs out if they get out, or what the case may be. But when you are walking your animal, you must pick up their hard waste and not leave it on public ground or in the bushes, or even on other people's lawn. It's just disrespectful, and it's not courteous to do that kind of a thing. Our police department puts on a police academy each year, and I'm going to put our city manager on the spot on this one. And I would like to see us have a citizens academy for the city of Los Banos, where the residents can come and learn about how their tax dollars are being spent and the various laws and restrictions that are behind what we have to do, and what jurisdiction we have, whether it's over anything over schools, or over some other organization that exists within the city. There seems to be a lot of misconception out there about how any particular city may operate. And once I think people have a clear understanding, or at least a better understanding of how government operates, how tax dollars are spent, it makes it easier for them to understand. We have a lot of people that have a lot of requests about what they would like and what they want in the city. And some of those things we're able to accomplish within planning for the future. But I think it's important that people have an understanding about how the city's run and how your tax dollars are spent. And most of it is by mandate. It's not by we just choose to do so. We have laws federally and statewide that require us to spend the tax dollars that we collect from citizens to spend for the jurisdiction that they live in. And I think that is it for me, Mayor, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. District 1, Councilmember Mitzi Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to touch on, with everyone that came up today, I know I've been vocal with our city manager on my push for more schools. So I do think it's just very important when it comes to, choosing the areas for our schools, that we do prepare and take traffic safety into consideration. So that way we don't have to wait until the problems start happening. So that's something I would like to see, just to be better prepared and keep our streets safe, especially for the students. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Just, happy to welcome all the new hires and thank all of our staff for all of the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you. District 2, Mr. Yamas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank the staff, first of all, for a tremendous job you're doing. It's reflective in those numbers, so thank you. Keep doing a good job. To the comments regarding speeding and the safety issues, more specifically to the one comment that said basically, are their lives less valuable? Absolutely not. All your lives are extremely valuable. We're committed to addressing these issues. Welcome the opportunity to meet with these folks and anyone else who has issues. We met 2 days ago. We have a meeting scheduled for the 27th. We look forward to coming together and working collectively to solve these issues. I want to welcome the new police officers. Thank you for joining our police department. And I want to thank the police department for coordinating that traffic enforcement action today. I think it was a long time coming, and I hope that we see more of that, because again, as Mr. Councilman Chavez said, it's about changing behavior. So thank you very much. And regarding the civics classes, Mayor Pro Tem Lewis, the Merced County Office of Education has a PLTI, Parent Teacher Institute, which delves deeply into civics, the Constitution, and the citizens' role in affecting change for issues. So that's already there. Hopefully, we can partner with them to broadcast the availability of those resources. What else? That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, but-
We have Memorial Day coming up. It's a very somber experience for a lot of the family members. And again, Memorial Day is a time to commemorate the military members lost in uniform in time of conflict in service to our republic. Again, the city of Los Banos, the VFW, American Legion, are having a ceremony at our cemetery on Monday. And also there is a federal ceremony happening at the federal cemetery over in Satanella on Sunday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, the Memorial Day ceremony at Santanella is at 9 a.m. and the one on Monday for our local vets at this local cemetery is at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
So I put that in there. Okay, a couple of things. I want to address a couple of things that were said at the podium, and I want, just to if you don't know this, to let you know that the laws for newspapers and publications are a lot different than social media. So newspaper has to tell the truth. And if they're not, they could be legally sued if they don't. Social media does not have that same standard. The Congress around 2000 wanted it to take off, so they just allowed that liability not to be there. So anything can be said on social media, and you really don't have any recourse. So the only reason I'm saying that is just be careful what you want to believe on social media, because sometimes some of the stuff is just really out of this world. We do have inspectors for all our homes. They do get inspected. We have many inspectors. We do all that. Carlos, when he was talking to me at a park, we were talking about some construction outside the city limits, and that's what I was talking about, that we didn't have control on. I know we need to look at Ward and B. I know the city is looking at that. I do agree, it's crazy. You see stoplights down the street, you don't see them there. The stoplights down the streets were put in by the school district for what they were mandated to do through traffic. And so now we're going to look at our intersections. On May 7th, we had the National Day of Prayer. That was a great turnout. It's 31 years we've been doing that at City Hall. It's a little scary. I was mayor 31 years ago when it started, that scary thought. And then that's the same time we started community blessing at our city council meeting, so I'm glad to see that moving forward. I was at the 75th anniversary of St. John's Lutheran Church last weekend. Great service, great people, and that's the church that's on West Adams. And Pastor New does a great job there, and I really enjoyed being there. And we gave them a proclamation for 75 years being in our community. We had a Peninsula Clean Energy budget session I attended, and like a lot of budgets, like Mayor Pro Tem talked about, Air Control Board, budgets are being cut all over the place, but not in Los Banos, because we seem to we got things under control here, but their budget is being cut too, and so they have some, not so much this coming year, but probably in the next few years, they're going to be seeing more monies cut from there. Also, last week, I visited Creekside Junior High. Principal Lawrence did an excellent job with hospitality, bringing me to the classrooms, and the 7th and 8th graders really told me what they wanted in our city. A lot of it was centered around food and fast food, what they wanted. Of course, they were all very excited about the swimming pool design, and I told them that maybe in the future we could come back when the Parks and Recs and the City Council starts looking at designs and get their input, sort of like what we did many years ago with the skate park.
and get more people involved with the process. That's what it's really all about. I attended, and Councilmember Yamas attended Gomez Travel. They opened a new office on the last block on 6th Street. We welcome them. Good to see them expanding. And then on this weekend, we also attended the Wealth Advisors. And next to DMV, they opened a brand-new office in Los Banos. First time they are in Los Banos. They have offices in many different towns, but now they have an office in Los Banos. Tomorrow I have a LAFCO meeting, and I guess it's about budgets again. This is the budget time of year, leading up to everybody's beginning of the year is July 1st for cities. And so, and for all these committees, so we'll be discussing budget tomorrow on that. And let's see, and that's pretty much, I'll be at both of the Memorial Day ceremonies and looking forward to that. That is a very important part of attendance, and recognize the people that have given us our freedom. So with that, anyone else has anything to add? Let's see, is there any closed sessions that I'm going to skip over? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much for attending.